think giving DOA, Department of Administration, more authority over who gets fired. For example, I think you're centralizing it into the agency that is run by, the governor's top appointee. I mean, the Department of Administration is sometimes referred to DOA as the Department of All. That's the kind of the governor's right-hand man there making the decisions about hiring and firing of employees. And they say, if you look at, what's happened with the recall database, for example, I mean, Republicans know who signed that recall petition, and they look it up. There was a student regent who was appointed by the governor. It was discovered that he signed the recall petition, and that appointment was rescinded. So they're saying that could replicate itself in this new civil service system. So what Democrats are trying to do is seize on a pattern here that'll kind of break through that clutter and reach the ears of independent voters. And so they feel like you look at kind of the collection of stuff that's happening right now, stuff that we've been talking about, for example. They're talking about, Republicans are talking about changing the John Doe laws so that you couldn't use these secret John Doe proceedings to investigate political misconduct for public officials. They're talking about changing the GAB. They're talking about, they tried and ultimately pulled it back, an attempt to gut the open records law. They had a very brief flirtation with getting rid of the audit bureau in favor of inspectors general. All that stuff. You've got Assembly Democrat Fred Kessler telling Capitol press conference last week, there's a pattern here.
When one political party controls the governorship, both houses of the legislature, and a majority on the Supreme Court, it sometimes becomes a bit arrogant, thinking it's above the law and can ignore the public and change the oversight that is required for fairness in the democracy. It feels it can violate long-established principles, whether doing away with the John Doe investigations, doing away with the Government Accountability Board, the Legislative Audit Bureau, or Wisconsin's open record law. It believes it can accept a level of corruption and will not suffer the consequences.
So you heard Fred Kessler there tie them together. He's saying that the stuff that you're seeing this year, and it is this year that all this is happening here, that there's a pattern here.